Tonight, you travel quietly back in time, stepping down into the soft, cooling darkness of an ancient Egyptian city as night settles fully around its stone walls. And if you find comfort in wandering through these calm places, you can subscribe and return whenever you like. But for now, there is nothing to follow, nowhere to be, and nothing required of you, except to move gently forward and allow the night to receive you. The city entrance stands open and unguarded, not in vigilance, but in rest. Thick limestone blocks hold the day's warmth a little longer, releasing it slowly into the air as you pass beneath their shadow. A single oil lamp glows near the gate, its small flame steady and patient, touching the warm stone with amber light before surrendering again to darkness. Your steps are unhurried, almost soundless, as the street curves inward, narrowing just enough to draw the world closer and quieter. Along the stone road, doors are closed and settled for the night. Flat-roofed homes rest shoulder to shoulder, their walls catching only the faintest highlights where lantern light slips through woven screens. The city does not sleep abruptly here, but gradually, like breath slowing, like a body easing into stillness.
You sense lives folded inward behind the walls, lamps lowered, voices long gone, leaving only warmth and quiet behind.
A courtyard opens gently to one side, smooth stone beneath your feet, clay vessels resting where they have always rested, and a lone lamp near a column breathing a soft circle of light into the space. Shadows pool at the edges, untroubled and deep, while the center remains calm and familiar, as if it remembers you. Nothing moves, and nothing needs to. You pass through narrow passages where tall walls rise close on either side. A lantern hangs low, its glow settling onto the ground rather than reaching outward. Darkness gathers ahead without urgency, inviting rather than concealing. Here the city feels protective, enclosing, as though guiding your pace to slow naturally, without effort. In a shallow stone niche, a small lamp rests within an alcove. Its flame illuminates carved edges just enough to suggest form, then allows everything else to fade away. There is no ceremony here now, only quiet reverence, the kind that lingers after intention has passed. You move on softly, leaving the light to its watch. The street loosens again into a garden space. Palms stand as silhouettes, their presence felt more than seen. Stone borders frame stillness, and a lantern near a basin casts a faint reflection across the water's surface. The air is unmoving, cool against your skin, carrying the scent of stone and night. Everything has found its place. As you continue, a narrow channel of water appears beside the path, dark and unbroken, reflecting a single warm glow in gentle fragments. And time seems to slow with it, stretching quietly as you walk. Ahead, the walls lower, and the space opens slightly. A single torch, mounted near the ground, offers just enough light to suggest the way forward. Beyond it, darkness waits patiently. Your steps become even slower now, guided not by destination, but by ease. And the city, settled and calm, welcomes you deeper into its night. The path carries you onward. As the city thins toward its edges, stone corridors widen just enough to let the night breathe. And the walls, though still present, no longer press close. A lamp rests against the inner face of the city wall, its glow grazing the rough blocks and then falling away into vast, unmeasured darkness beyond. There is no view to hold your attention there, only the feeling of space opening, of the city loosening its grip as it rests. You move along the interior walkway, your pace unbroken and unhurried. The parapet runs beside you in quiet companionship, worn smooth by time and touch. The lamp's flame leans slightly, not from wind, but from its own gentle motion, as though breathing. Nothing watches, nothing stirs, and the night remains wide and empty in the most comforting way. Stone steps descend toward the riverbank, their edges softened by countless evenings like this one. At the top step, a lantern has been placed with care, its warm light spilling downward and fading before it reaches the water. The river itself lies dark and still, accepting only the faintest reflection, as if unwilling to disturb the calm. No boats rest here now. No sounds of oars or voices remain. Only the quiet presence of water, waiting. Near the river, a small garden settles into shadow. Low stone seating holds the warmth of the day, while reeds and plants gather softly at the edges, their shapes barely suggested. A single lantern illuminates the ground nearby, enough to reveal texture, not detail. The rest dissolves into darkness without resistance. You pause here, not to observe but to simply be, letting the slow rhythm of the place steady you. The lantern now behind you casts long shadows forward, stretching gently across the stone floor. The corridor ahead is darker, but not unknown. It feels familiar, as though the city remembers your earlier passage and welcomes your return without words. Your footsteps remain light, guided by memory rather than sight. A larger courtyard opens once more spacious than before, yet quieter still. The lantern light here is lower and softer, no longer asking for attention. Stone walls hold the glow close, while darkness gathers thickly at the edges, protecting the center. Nothing draws your focus, and nothing needs to. The space feels safe, settled, complete. As you continue, the architecture becomes less defined. Stone underfoot, stone beside you, and then only the suggestion of form remains. The light grows smaller, gentler, until it rests alone in the darkness, surrounded by deep blue-black night. Here, the city no longer presents itself. It simply allows you to remain, unobserved, unhurried, and at ease. The space around you continues to soften, slowly and without any clear boundary. The stone beneath your feet remains, steady and familiar, yet it no longer asks to be noticed. Walls feel less like structures now, and more like memories of enclosure, present only as a sense of quiet protection. The lantern's glow stays small and patient, resting low against the ground, not guiding you forward so much as allowing you to remain. Your movement becomes slower, though you never consciously decide to slow. It happens naturally, the way breath deepens when the body feels safe. The city no longer unfolds ahead of you in paths or passages, but settles around you in gentle layers of stillness. Stone, air, and darkness blend together until they are no longer separate things. You pass through spaces that feel nearly empty of form. Not courtyards, not corridors, but calm intervals where nothing is required to define itself. The darkness here is deep, not heavy, and it holds the faint warmth of the lantern without swallowing it. The glow remains steady, unchanged, as if it has always been here and always will be. Time loosens further. Minutes no longer feel distinct from one another, and the idea of forward movement begins to soften. There is no destination implied now, no edge to reach, no return to consider. The city has quieted its voice completely, leaving only the low, even presence of night. The stone beneath you reflects just enough light to remain real, while everything beyond it dissolves into suggestion. Detail fades first, then distance, and finally even direction loses its meaning. You are not moving through the city anymore. You are simply resting within it. The lantern's glow becomes less of a focal point and more of a companion. It neither brightens nor dims, it simply stays. Steady, calm, and unconcerned with time. Your awareness drifts gently between the light and the surrounding darkness, never settling fully on either, moving the way water moves when undisturbed. Eventually, you find yourself in a simple stone space that asks nothing of you. The glow rests at its center, barely illuminating the ground beneath it. The surrounding darkness is thick but gentle, complete but welcoming. Nothing approaches and nothing recedes. Everything feels finished for now. You remain here without expectation, without the sense that anything should happen next. The city, the river, the walls and the gardens all feel equally distant and equally near, folded together into a single calm presence. Your breathing settles naturally into the quiet, each breath arriving without effort and leaving just as easily. Thoughts, if they appear at all, move slowly here. They form briefly, and then soften before they can take shape. There is no need to follow them, no reason to hold them. The night receives them gently and lets them fade. Held quietly between stone and darkness, nothing presses forward, nothing pulls you back. You are simply here, suspended in stillness, supported by the calm the way the body is supported by rest. And the city, long settled into sleep, remains with you in silence. There is almost no distinction left now between where you are and where the night begins. The stone beneath you feels completely familiar, no longer cool or warm, simply present. The lantern's glow has softened further, resting gently at the center of the darkness, like a final thought that has decided it no longer needs to be spoken. The city has withdrawn fully into itself. Walls, doorways, courtyards, and gardens no longer exist as separate spaces, but as a single, continuous quiet layered beneath the night air. Nothing echoes here, and nothing lingers. Even memory feels distant, its edges blurred until it no longer asks for attention. You do not feel as though you are standing or walking anymore, only remaining, comfortably suspended within stillness, supported by the calm the way the body is supported by sleep. The rhythm of the world has slowed to match your own, each breath easing naturally into the next, without effort or intention. The glow before you feels less like light now, and more like warmth remembered. Not something to look at, but something to rest beside. It touches the stone briefly, then fades outward into the surrounding darkness, spreading thinly and evenly, as though the night itself is gently absorbing it. Time no longer moves forward here. It loosens, stretches, and then becomes irrelevant. Moments pass without counting themselves, and the need to follow them disappears entirely. The ancient city, once full of edges and passages, now feels like a single unbroken quiet that holds you without question. The air remains cool and steady, carrying no sound, no signal, no change. It settles around you the way sleep settles around the body, gradually and kindly, without announcement. There is no transition to mark, no moment to notice, only a deepening ease that arrives on its own. If there were footsteps once, they have long since dissolved into the stone. If there were thoughts, they too have softened and drifted away. What remains is simple and complete. A sense of being gently placed exactly where you were meant to be, with nothing further required. The lantern's glow diminishes almost imperceptibly, not extinguishing, not disappearing, but blending, its warmth spreading quietly into the stone, into the air, into the night itself, until it feels as though the light was never separate from the darkness at all, only a brief expression of it. And now there is nothing left to attend to, no image to follow, no place to imagine, no direction to hold. The city sleeps, the river rests, and the night has closed softly around everything. You are free to let go completely, knowing that this quiet will remain steady and unbroken, carrying you gently onward as you drift deeper into rest.